Welcome to a new Daily Top Askreddit video. Today's topic. What food does your mom make better than anybody who has ever existed in the history of the universe? Gestures solemnly to my username. Hey, my more appropriately named sibling. This made me happy and sad. That made me solemn. My mom's Korean. She makes a Korean oxtail soup called seolagtag. It's my favorite meal and I'd want it as my last meal if I had to pick. Edit, honorable mention, hajaguk or hangover soup is another favorite. Highly recommended. Edit again, for those who want the recipe, my mom never wrote it down, but this one uses the same method as her and tastes the same. https www.markg.com/recipe/seoliogtag. My mom is also Korean and we grew up in America and she made a real effort to cook both types of food. For Thanksgiving we'll sometimes have just an insane mishmash of foods we like with no rhyme or reason. Bulgogi and japchae with mashed potatoes and stuffing. My kind of Thanksgiving. My mum can make the single best roast potatoes I've ever had. That's nice, but I'm still a little sad that you've clearly never had my mom's roast potatoes. That's okay. Oh man, I feel so bad for both of you because neither of you have had my mom's roasties. I'm sorry for you. Banana bread. I use the same recipe and it just isn't the same. Miss you Mom X. Edit, well. Thanks for all the rewards guys. Totally unexpected for such a simple comment. Raising a glass to all the mums. Maybe next time scoop your flour into the measuring cups and lightly level with the spoon by scraping, not packing down. If you scoop out of the bag you may be adding too much cause it packs it down in there. Just a thought. There are some things moms do that aren't in the recipe that make a big difference lol. I've sometimes found the opposite to be true with old recipes. I'm measuring to be careful not to pack the flour in the measuring cups, but the person who wrote the recipe just scooped it up straight from the container and as a result had way more flour. If you do find the right amount of flour, weigh it and record so you don't have to mess around with guessing in future. Literally everything. Even toast. I think it's the love. Love really does make a difference in cooking. When my mom cooks I really can taste the disdain and resentment. Funny thing, whenever your mom cooks for me it's nothing but love and admiration. Gumbo. My mom made the absolute best gumbo and I've spent the last 10 years trying to get it right because she never wrote down the recipe for me before she died despite me practically begging her to do so. God, I miss her, and her gumbo. My great-grandma was a renowned candy maker and wouldn't write down any of her recipes either. My recipes will die with me. I don't understand why people do that. Let us remember you and carry on your legacy. Everybody loves your candy. Thanks, I'll take it to my fucky grave. Right. I don't get it. In my mom's case, it was more that she never really used a recipe, so I think she just kept forgetting to write it down whenever she would make it. My last couple batches were getting really close though. I make a pretty damn good gumbo, and the biggest trick is to get the roux dark. Cook it as long as you think it needs, then keep going until you want to give up and amputate an arm. Then keep going. When it looks almost inedible and has a slight popcorn smell, keep going. It'll then get smooth, creamy, and look like chocolate. That's when it's ready. And scoop off the excess fat as the gumbo cooks. That extra fat doesn't add the flavor you think it would. Edit to add, if your roux smells like actual popcorn, not just a slight hint of it, it's burnt and will not taste good in your gumbo. Yep, it's all about that roux. My husband makes the best gumbo and his roux looks like motor oil. You literally almost burn it. It's delicious. Now, I want gumbo. Lech flan. Even the stuff from the local Filipino bakery is spongy scrambled eggs compared to my mom's. Thick, smooth custard. No bubbles. Her secret ingredient is the tiniest splash of lemon extract. Sometimes she'll put a layer of flan on top of cassava cake, shredded cassava cooked with macapuo coconut. Lord, so good. My mother is from the Philippines. Her adobo is something magical and out of this world. When my wife is mad at me she says the only reason she married into the family was so that she could eat my mom's adobo. Edit, I somehow forgot to mention halumpia. Oh lord, halumpia is something I could eat several times my own body weight in. Edit 2. It's starting to sound like we need to have a Reddit-wide Filipino cook-off as soon as the pandemic ends. That way we can all win. Edit 3. I don't have her recipe so I cannot give it out. I think my mother is trying to use it to ensnare wives for my remaining unmarried brothers. After all, who could turn down an invitation for lumpia and chill? I understand. I'm considering marrying you just hearing about it. Oh dude. I've had lech flan from the store which is decent. And then I've had some made by Flypo moms / sisters. It's like night and day. The homemade stuff is on another level. Am I the only person who has a dad who cooks more than their mum? Best thing my mom ever made was the decision to let my dad cook. I'm the dad who cooks so relatable. Edit, ain't dissing my so's cooking skills, it's just that she comes from a household that cooks almost without salt. Can't live like that. Same lol. My wife somehow managed to burn an oven glove. Something specifically designed for heat, I'll never know how. Me and the other half just have completely different styles. If we are tired, in a rush, need something simple, then my good lady is the one to call. She is able to make really simple, good tasting, food quickly. I, on the other hand, will hand bake bread, make a daisak from scratch, produce a roast dinner with all the trimmings. Our kids love both our cooking. But if they are hungry, and need something now, they go to their mum. If they want their favorite dinner for their birthday, they come to me. It works very well. Last night's microwaved. I know, I just had it this morning. Did you make this thread just to set you up for this? My mom makes hands down the absolute best lasagna ever, and she can almost perfectly recreate the rice, noodles, and steak from hibachi restaurants. Yo, I'ma need your mom's recipe for that hibachi. KTNX. Can I have her phone number, then? I married into a Ukrainian family and my mother-in-law and wife make potato / cheese pierogies for Christmas and Thanksgiving each year from scratch and there's nothing like them. You think you like pierogies and then you have a homemade one and suddenly you can hear colors. If you want a pierogi / vereki go to a Ukrainian church, they make them on Saturday. It also supports the church and charity Little Old Babushka make them by hand. This. I don't know how different a Ukrainian and a Polish pierogi may be, but the Catholic church my grandmother goes to has a crack team of very loud Polish grandparents who make the most amazing pierogies I've ever had. I love my mom but real talk she is a shitty cook. Edit, oh god so this is what rip my inbox is like. Edit 2, good going Reddit. My top ever comment is criticizing my mom. What a good son I am. My mom once put a teapot on the stove, forgot about it, fell asleep, slept through the damn thing whistling like a goddamn freight train for who knows how long, and woke up to the smoke alarm going off because the empty pot was on fire. She had to bust out the fire extinguisher and everything. Literally the only person I know who can start a fire boiling water. I've been a better cook than her since I was like 9. My love of cooking is pretty much the only good thing my father ever did for me. Edit for clarity, this was in a shitty little apartment. She was not even behind a closed door or anything, and absolutely should have heard it whistling. Or, you know, not gone for a nap with something on the stove. My mom once made a meatloaf so bad the dog wouldn't eat it and he'd eat pretty much anything. Elmeo, that's straight out of a Disney movie. Not my mom, but my grandma makes the best fried chicken ever. I won't eat any other fried chicken except for hers BC, all the others just disappoint me. Edit, I will ask my grandma for her fried chicken recipe and share it with everyone once I've gotten it. Edit 2, I got the recipe. You're gonna take your chicken, wash it and dry it, then cover it in a flour mixture of salt, fresh ground pepper, and paprika, shake off the excess. Then you're going to beat some eggs really well, this is important, dip the chicken into the egg, and then back into the flour mixture, shake off excess. Heat cooking oil, Crisco. On medium and add the chicken. You're going to turn the chicken every few minutes until it's golden brown. I recommend putting the finished chicken on a plate with paper towels to allow the excess oil to absorb before eating. I hope you'll like it. I deeply miss my grandma's fried chicken. Just flour, seasoning, chicken, and a cast iron skillet, but so good. Exactly, it's so simple but it's amazing. Creeped. Everything else she makes is trash. I've never had a crepe before. You know anywhere besides your mom for a good place to get one? Edit, my inbox is dead now. Around me there's a few breakfast restaurants, normally small family-owned, or at a buffet. Those are your best chances. I haven't seen any larger places have them unless they were French, usually in the desserts. France. Someone should launch a show called Mom Food Showdown. Or Gramoivovo's Showdown. But they'd have to bring their own pans because that's where the magic happens. Or Iron Grandma. Strudel with poppy seeds. I'm not a big fan of sweet food, but this I could eat every single day.